Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, of you to a riveting and amazing 1v1 here on Pachino Stalemate. Which after some time they finally got running in the 1v1 map pool, and also I think is one of my favourite 1v1 maps alongside Road to Tunis. North it is the Imperial Dane himself, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. The 3rd Panzergrenadier Division. Actually, let's go the 15th. In the south, it is Lens, fighting here for America, Freedom, Democracy. The 1st Infantry Division here with Special Operations, which is one of the more popular battle groups alongside Airborne. Of course, not as popular, but certainly if you're not running into Airborne, a lot of the time you're running into Special Operations, in part due to the Weasel. And of course, the SSF Commandos. So, off to those and Pachino Stalemate, which is basically Pachino Farmlands, but slightly toned down in size, but still has a lot of the features I think that makes Pachino, I think, an interesting map, also for 1v1 gameplay. Partly, I think it's just the way the map interacts with the center. Like, you do have some urban environments, but you can actually maneuver around it, giving you more paths to, like, attack into it. So I think that makes it very interesting. Straight to breakthrough, of course, here for me. I do like that battle group. Some MP40, of course, getting ready eventually. 2nd Grenadier Squad there shall eventually arrive. Pioneers think northwards, southwards. As always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters who keep the Propagandacast running with their hard-earned contributions. A big thanks to all those wonderful people. Got the Weasel here weaseling about. Already got that fatal decal on the way there. We also got some very early engineers here out from Lens, which is an interesting choice. I mean, not bad at all, but typically don't see them like going for that unless they're going arm and then a lot of assault engineers. That is an interesting pick here by Lens, but with an early Weasel, this does mean you can still get out infantry fast, despite without having to lose too much tempo. So there you go, first shots fired, popping into the building here, catching the engineers here. Grease guns blazing away at my gun for the Carnot TKs. Up north here, Pioneer versus Scouts. Trying to reposition my grenadiers a bit here because fighting here, there's going to be in heavy cover. I'm kind of hoping to, maybe hit them from a angle out of cover by popping into this building or maybe inflicting to this one here, but we can see the engineers withdrawing. In the south here, we've got the Pioneer versus the Weasel. Grenadiers moving about. And up north here, we got the Pioneers versus the Scouts with my 2nd Grenadier Squad on the way here to assist them. 3rd Grenadier Squad on the way, and I got some MP40s on the way here for the Grenadiers into the center. Sandbags there. Engineers backing off, Weasel moving in. 1st Rifle Squad out here for Lens, heading northwards here. Pioneers and Scouts end up retreating here, but we've got the Grenadier Squad moving up. Sandbags down there around the center, Pioneer heading southwards. Weasel there grabbing the point. 3rd Grenadier Squad here for the Fatherland. Moving in here just to help contest the point and sort of deal with the shoot at the Weasel up close with the Pioneers because in heavy cover they do stand a chance of these Rangers versus the Weasel. Gun units coming up, Gunner's going to flank in behind here. This is also another reason I'm doing it here because I'm hoping to keep the Weasel there so my Grenadiers with MP40s can flank the Weasel and maybe have a shot destroying it. 2nd Grenadier Squad rank Pioneers called to have to retreat now, but for now the trap has sprung in a sense. He does gain veterans who won, but that doesn't really help, and the crew just gets ejected out of there because they didn't wear seatbelts, in part because seatbelts hadn't been invented yet. Rifle Squad ground the center there. Unless, of course, I'm sure you're watching the History Channel, in which case they'll sure insist that Nazis in cooperation with aliens made seatbelts, but, the Americans and the Soviets ruined that. Anyways, rushing in here, using the sprint ability close on the gun. Rifle Squad here, taking a lot of damage to the close end here. Close veteran on the Grenadiers, but there you go. Already taking a lot of damage to the close end there. The Grenadiers will rapidly fall here. Grenadiers Pioneer moving in here. Northern pumping seats for the Yankees. Grenadiers trying the best, but they just taking too much damage, and just seemingly none of the bullets are landing on the Americans when they turn. Also got the Panzer Grenadier Company going up here. Rifle Squad popping about here. Then popping out. Again. Perhaps concerned about more MP40s for me. Rifle Squad here arriving to support Freedom and Democracy, probably going into the nearby building. At least, I ordered them into the building, but for some reason, it didn't happen. Does occasionally happen, a bit annoying, obviously. Finish around the Scouts here, got a flamethrower teaming up, so as soon as my Grenadiers finally find their way in, they have to find their way out, otherwise they're going to get burnt to a crisp. In fact, they take up a lot of damage in the process. Huge amounts of damage there. So, Troop reinforcing here. We got a Panzer escort soon inbound. Also got breakthrough there. Picked. As for our opponent back at the base, we got the medical station up. He's also going for the mechanized support center, so that obviously means Shermans with 76mm guns and perhaps some other fun stuff. Well, obviously, I mean, most players just focus on like that one upgrade, but honestly, a lot of the other upgrades to the mechanized support center are actually quite good, but they tend to get overlooked. Especially north of this Majesty's most of the northern part of the map here, very good. South, we got the Grenadier Squad number 2 poking about here. Panzer Squad ready. And at this point, I'm going to keep the Grenadiers here for a while until I get the 160 manpower need. Then I'm going to transfer them out because they're so low on health here. And, you know, I typically do tend to, like, at this stage with my build order in this metagame, like, transfer one Panzer Grenadier Squad. So transfer the one that is, like, you know, got 2 men ready to die anyways. You know, makes sense. So that way I don't have to, like, spend time researching healing for them. Can focus more on my research on, like, you know, support elements into Stug. Got the Panzer Guard here, getting my fuel point there outside the base. There we go. Closing in this swiftly for the Fatherland. Rifle Squad very judiciously pulled back, and there we go, popping breakthrough, which allows my unit to take points really, really fast. Apparently it's because, for some reason, the reason they're taking too fast right now is because apparently they apply it for every model of the bonus, so like it allows like just grab it super duper fast. And straight to mine here. He's actually been quite active mining in the center. Thumbs up to Lens there. Moving up here, hitting the fuel point there. A lot of rats from the south here. Suddenly, most of the map is now German. He's going to have to retreat right past the MP40 Grenadiers. We actually got a motor pool here, which is a bit of a rare sight. Not because I think any of the units are really bad in it. It's just like, you know, if you're going Pathfinders into a fast half-track, into a fast Sherman, you know, the motor pool does kind of look bad in comparison. There you go, the Panzer Squad hits another mine. That is quite a bit of manpower lost there. So, obviously at this point, I should also really start considering some minesweepers. Like, Lens is honestly the first opponent I've really seen in some time to, like, just heavily lay down mines. Most American and British players don't really bother that much with mines. And noting, I'm actually also laying down mines myself, at least will be here in the moment. Mine here and a mine there will be laid down. Panzer catching Grenadiers, a Rifle Squad here backed up with the Grenadiers from the south. He's also thinking about hitting fuel points close to my base. A lot of back and forth here between me and Lens. But yeah, breakthrough is, I imagine you're going to get nerfed as well. But it does buy me some time here after an otherwise rough start there. Got the point outside his base as well there. So a bit of reversal there. Grenadiers falling back. Panzers there just retreating. They've taken too much damage. Got a massive assault here from Lens. Got the third Ralph Squad out. This has a total of 3 Ralph Squads. The Flamethrower Engineers and the Scouts so far. Next up will be the Sturmgeschütz 3 als G. Jemand Grenadiers and Panzer Grenadiers heading out here. And there you go. Got the M8 Grand out here for my opponent. Adding the 50 cal. So, you say the area is safe here? Yeah, totally. Krauts don't lay down mines. Krauts don't lay... God damn it, Carl. Yeah, mines, you know, again, pay off big time. Typically quite well. Sturmgeschütz on the way. And these Panzer pushing towards the center here. Additional surprises there from Lens. Grab the southern point here. Panzer Grenadier reinforced and ready. Next up will be some medical station upgrades there, imagine, for me, because I do need some healing for my men. Since I can't transfer these guys out for Starstrom, can I now? Catching these with the Panzer Grenadiers backed up with the Grenadier with the MP40s. Grenadiers here being ripped out by the Sturmgewehr out in the open. And of course we got the Greyhound just very slowly moving all the way back to base. In fact, he's gone for second gear score just to expedite the repairs. Ralph Squad heading northwards here. I would also not be surprised to end up going for minesweepers because, you know, he's seeing I'm laying down mines, and of course I'm going for minesweepers with his mines, so, you know. Again, mines, you know, matter. Adding a pin on my machine gun here to my Sturmgeschütz 3 als G early model. There's one thing I can typically tell an early model apart from a late model is in part the gun mantlet there. More flat, squarish one, though worth noting, some later models will still apply it. Also, these rollers here would typically be of a different pattern. But it's typically like this here, and sort of the pinball machine on top there would also be different ones. That's sort of the typical ones. Punish right up the Ralph Squad.
You have command points available.
Ralph Squad right here.
We await command.
Quick merge to the Pentagon to keep them full strength. Sending sees the Ralph Squad. Hard push to the fuel point again. And we got the ground here causing havoc in the south. New spotted around here, but the mighty Sturmgeschütze Ausführung. And we got the Americans going to secure the center here once more. The not so sleepy township of Pachino. And got anti-tanks on the M1 entertain here to help deal with the Sturmgeschütze. News being apparently in the open. Punch their prop just need to retreat and heal up, honestly. Then he is sprinting in. And there you go, Grand and Stu clashing. Got the M1 to move up there. Good shot for the side of the Sturmgeschütze. We got the Gunners trying to flank around the anti-tank, and actually Pioneer's about to fix up the Stug. We got the Gunners versus the Engineers here, flamethrowers versus MP40s, and a grenade assault just to make sure they get the hell out of there. In fact, that could be a wipe here if he's unlucky. Well, I'm lucky. In this case, he was the one getting lucky there. And there, got Gunners flanking around here. Again, one of the things I like about this map, it does have some interesting flank paths you can take here around the center. There goes Stug charging in here. This is a Pinball machine gewehr. Emo Grand flanking about here. Almost got the anti-tank crew, and there you go, wiped it. Grenade assault to flash them out of the church. Doesn't matter in time. He's going to take some damage and some losses. Stug firing away there, but he's going to repeatedly miss here, by the way. Like, he's going to miss so many times. I think it's due to the light cover here, which messes with the path here, so... Again, shooting a lot on it, but you just can't hit it. I'm just trying to withdraw the Stug here. Meanwhile, though, Panther Squad flanking in here. Sneak up for an alley here, catching the Ralph Squad, the anti-tank on here. Clearing it out again. Got another Sturmgeschütze on the way. Rifleman being dispatched with the Panthers, got amongst other squad moving to grab the point here. Stug moving in again to try once more and clear out the anti-tank gun here. This time we're moving up very close to make sure it bloody well doesn't miss. North here, got Pioneers with Engineers. Grand moving in here, Stug again just keeps damn well missing. Again, the machine gun does pack a punch here, so clearing out the anti-tank gun again. And he recruits it again. It's actually pretty ballsy here. Right from the Stug and the Pentagon. The rest of that wiped that squad, but in this case, fortune did not smile upon me. Graham Sun point here, so like the anti-tank has been crewed a lot of times by now. So why is the ketchup all of the anti-tank gun? Yeah, ketchup, but I just wouldn't recommend you tasting it. Why? It's bad ketchup. Oh. Very bad ketchup. Almost had it with the Panther fast there. Stug heading southwards there. Punch with the units in the center here. Far up north, Stug winning a bit of repairs. Got units moving forwards here. Ralph Squad advancing. Stug's going to spot them and then slightly pull back because I'd rather not get it snared up. He's right in the center. North Engineers right as well as the Grenadier. A lot of engagements here. Opponents starting to focus more on the south and the north as well, rather than just the center, which is, I think, actually much more sensible to him rather than so heavy focus on the center there to a degree. Gun anything forwards here. And we got the BA upgrade. Very potent upgrade, very good one, of course. Before it comes to the Ralph Squad here, Stug moving in there. Shot on munitions for the machine gun gewehr there. I am going to have to fall back here. Panzer flanking in here, charging in with the mechanized assault ability here. Ralph Squad up close here. They finally get their BAR, but in this case, it's a bit too late for them. Stug, of course, still need a machine Gewehren. Other one, they're rushing forwards here with 5 kills so far. And close to Veteran 2-1. But the Pioneers, the Panzergrenadiere.
Upgrade
Still
complete.
got the mine there. Die Schützenmine. Bringing for the Ralph squad here. Grenadier squad, they're probably to retreat. We've got the Stukeepers infantry there.
You have 3 command points at your disposal.
Mechanized assault group ready. Closing in advance, going for the anti-tank gun here. Punchman fix up the Sturmgeschütz. And there we go. I'm a bit surprised they took him so late. We do finally have the SSF commandos here for Lens. Also significant boosters and for firepower, and of course anti-tank. I mean, they are very flexible elite infantry. Meanwhile, got the Stuke, they're hunting down the Yankees. Finally getting the machine gun added to that one as well. Pioneer spot here by the fuel point close to his base. Routed. Anti-tank gun on the move.
Supply trucks are available to bolster our
And I actually go for the supply truck because apparently the other ability, the rapid production ability, currently isn't working. So I might as well go for that one. Plus, I'm actually curious like how exactly it interacts with the various resource points. So I kind of wanted to test it out as well here. Like, I know it can transfer troops. It can also tow weapons. It does have a bit more utility than the one in Companies 2. But while it says it can be enforced by some of the veterans ability stuff, they can't actually enforce them. At least not at the moment. Maybe it's supposed to. You can do a fair amount of stuff besides, you know, just securing extra resources. But I'm actually not entirely sure how many extra resources it gives you in this match, so we'll be using it for that little purpose. Into the fuel products on the mid-base again. Focusing heavily on the center as always. Punch moving in from the front. Stuke Grenadiers flanking alongside with the Stugs. Last squad, they're just being mauled out in the open with the machine gun Gewehr on the Stugs. I've also researched the Panzergrenadier officer quarters. Very handy upgrade as always.
We have a surplus of command points available.
Popping into the church of the commandos. Norfolk on his right by the ground of the Ralph squad. They're easily laying down a lot of fire there on my German infantry. Some men of the 15th Panzergrenadier Division. 1st Panzergrenadier Company. Going in to breach the church here. It quickly pops out before that becomes relevant.
Adversary is trying to take one of our points.
Rifle squading northwards.
We will end this. The enemy
Far south here, Peony heading southwards for the southern field point. Stuke's withdrawing for now. As for the opponent, we got another anti-tank light up here with the Sturmgeschütze. I mean, that makes sense.
Sandbag wall is built. At last.
Popping out the Panzer there to quickly react to what's going on north here. There you go, Grand Engage going to do here. Panther first off, so I'm going to have to try, at least we'll try to win to deal with that. The Sturmgeschütze charging forwards there. One squad didn't quite catch up. He pulls back, and I'm just saying northwards to respond again to the northern push here by my opponent. With only one squad now riding along, but you know, that's better than none. And I'm also busy in the south. And my opponent clearly isn't quite paying as much attention. Charging in here, quickly disengaging from the Sturmgeschütz. And my opponent just mostly retreats in the face of such a glorious mechanized assault here. Also building here the Panzer Company. Then get out some Schützen on my Stugs and maybe some Starsturm, but also a Panther 4 obviously.
Territory lost.
Go.
Research as ordered.
Schützen being added. Commanders mounted in the center, going to deal with them. 2 anti-tank, which will definitely be a threat here to my assault guns and any future tanks.
The enemy has
There we go. Got the Oberblitz there called in.
We have finished the research.
The Schützen already. Doesn't have so much of getting shot at directly by an anti-tank gun though. Sitting about in the south here. So it would be fools to take this route. Lined up here a bit as well. I mean, that's a good point to mine up as well. This is also a good point, actually. Going for those victory points. Of course, this looks like slowed down my victory point lead. He was in the lead, but now I am the one leading. Sitting up here, by the way, and I realised, hang on, this only gives like 4 extra points. And that's basically what it just does. It like adds extra 4 points on like any resource point, be it munitions or fuel. So I would say it's probably the least valuable on munitions points and more valuable on fuel points just for that one. But also like you're better off than set up like any small resource point close to your base. So there's actually no incentive to like even use it a bit riskily in that regard, which I'm mildly disappointed in. I suppose I can see the logic for larger team games, but even then it's like, yeah.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
At least he should then be able to reinforce troops. That cost. But still, it has some utility. It has some utility, no mistake about that. Anyways, grab the southern port here. Opponent moving to secure the center. Got the anti-tank guns, got the Greyhound. Stuke saying southwards. Without infantry, definitely not the best move there, I'll be honest. It will still get a few kills there for Deutschland. There you go. Got the Panzers of the Grenadiers going up here. Commandos and routes want to start the building here. Going in here for Deutschland. Going to breach one. Chuck grenade to the other. Absolutely ruining the interiors. That's not really why he has the Wehrmacht, to appreciate good local, you know, interiors. Panzer being routed with the Greyhound. Steadily moving ahead here for Deutschland. Men of the 15th Panzer going to be assured here. First Panzer going to come deep into the center, but realize maybe they should be elsewhere with all the guns being deployed at them. Going southwards here, I'm actually going to go for Nebelwerfer, which doesn't have the best reputation, but it did actually get buffed recently. Sort of recently. And it's not terrible now. It's still not amazing, but say you're in an environment where your opponents will actually, like, say, pack together. Like, for example, oh, I don't know, a small town center somewhere in Italy. You know, the Nebelwerfer actually has some utility. I know, it's strange. Also, theoretically, you could also use the Blitz, you just towed around without having to say go for a half-track. Little side note there. Better skirmishing him, but ultimately just disengage. Do some neat repairs. Got the Nebelwerfer here ready. There are actually numerous versions of the Nebelwerfer, some firing significantly larger rockets than others. So, there's a little fun fact for us as well. And we actually got a mortar from my opponent, as the match sort of gets more focused around the center, obviously. Artillery isn't a half bad idea here, though of course you should be careful not getting too entrenched here. And not just because of the threat of a Nebelwerfer, but like, you know, if I control the resource on the other sides of the map, this isn't going to matter too much. Go, either way, Nebelwerfer.
The enemy remains stubborn. We are down to 300 points.
Opponent's got me down to less than 300 now. Popping in the Pioneers here to act as spotters for the Nebelwerfer. Basically acting as artillery observers. North here, Panzer Corps to the Ralph Squad, charging in with the mechanized assault. He immediately pops support on him. And we got the Nebelwerfer around here. Nearly getting the building for a church before it collapses. Anti-tank crew, they're getting hit by the rockets. Almost wiping out the anti-tank crew here. And there we go. Like, the Nebelwerfer now is like, you know, for its cost, it is 260 manpower. Like, decent artillery. Except your opponent does blow up. Bit. But there you go, quick movement again, infantry running on the Stukes. In this case, there's mostly just to, like, deal with the anti-tank guns here, and also get the infantry to deal with the mortar here. Grenadiers being sent in here to deal with the mortar, I think. Commanders there being ripped up by Stuk fire, and the Panzer Grenadier going up north and east, creeping about here. Commanders routed, Graham moving in here. Got the Grenadiers going for the mortar here, popping grenade assault. 6 grenades laden with German goodness, and the mortar crew actually doesn't get wiped from that, much to my surprise. Stukes going for the ground, finally knocking it out there, and that leaves the other tank gun out in the oven as the Stukes and the assault grenadiers, the machine guns, and MP40s absolutely making very short work of the gun crew. Stuk there almost gets knocked out, doesn't bounce any of these shots. At least this time, I do get the anti-tank gun wrecked. Finally. That said, we got a squad flanking in here, and I grab the anti-tank gun with the other one with my Panzer squad here. Stuk here against caught with a snare, knocked out. Got the Stuk here, only a point-blank shot, and absolutely ripping through them there. Got 15 infantry kills here. A well-handled Stuk with machine guns and the point-blank blank blast actually can like rack up a good amount of infantry kills. I even had like one match with, I think it had one Stug 3G with like 40 infantry kills, so you know. But bringing a Panther 4 here, Panther's going to need to take northwards for some Pioneer here to recapture the north here. And I moved the Blitz here to the fuel point because, you know, if I'm going to have it on a point that only gives +4, I'd rather have it on the fuel point than a munitions point. Another needle wave barrage around the center. Commandos hightailing out of there. Not the most kills, in fact, apparently hasn't got any kills recorded, but which is probably a mistake there, but it can definitely make an impact. Got the anti-tank there ready. And my opponent's finally brought in a Sherman, actually. He's finally got the tank there, he's even got the 769 upgrade ready. Very good there. Looks like it's going to make northwards. Got the mortar around the church here. One guy apparently intends to stone the flowers. Got a supply drop there, I imagine for an anti-tank gun more, and a machine gun, plus fuel. Rushing northwards here. Support for the 1st Division there, coming from the 1st Armour Division. One independent tank brigade. Panzer going to flank around here. Meanwhile, anti-tank gun Stug being laden with infantry, and the Panther as well here. Going to quickly mechanize my infantry there towards the north end. Panzer catch the mortar crew, which once more escapes the wrath of the Wehrmacht. Showing to deal with them. But as I'm in here, I need to like defend my anti-tank, and as I'm getting rushed down here by infantry. So quickly disengaging there from the armor. Panzer going around with the Sherman. Anti-tank crew sadly just getting ripped apart here. But this does mean he's focusing down the anti-tank crew around the infantry shooting at him. This is actually a pretty, you know, beneficial deal for me. You know, got the Sherman up here. Panther 4 turning around to deal with that Stug as well. Got an M1 mine there from my opponent, actually. Stug somehow sets the mine off. Works for me, obviously. But I imagine it's a bit annoying for my opponent. Quick grenade here to flash them out of the building. Other building collapses, and there you go, needle wave barrage off here. Again, it makes it a bit hard for my opponent to just play statically here. Even like doesn't do a lot directly, indirectly still like adds some pressure then my opponent down. Quickly popping up the crews again, or the infantry again here. Again, I really like tank riding. It's easily one of my favorite features, but it seems like no one really acknowledges it, unfortunately. It's easily one of my favorites. There you go, machine crew is definitely not something expecting. It's still getting hit with anti-tank grenades. Him being ripped apart here. Got more troops moving up, going to flank around here. Since again, now all of his attention is on the armor in the north, so by flanking around for here, I can catch a lot of the support weapons, which I know pointing at my tanks and assault guns quite off guard here. So there we go. Nice infantry flank here using assault troops. Got the Sherman up here, engaging the Stug, but missing. Now we got the anti-tank crew there cleared out. Panzer's flanking around here. And now, of course, as the anti-tank goes down, I'm going to move forwards again. We still got the command side of the building here. Grenade on the machine gun. Utterly exploded. Panther 4 pushing forwards. I want that Sherman kaput here. So I'm willing to risk it here. I am willing to risk it. And not for a biscuit. Commanders popping out. The course container getting breached. Also got the focus fire here activated on my Panther 4. Commanders there do take out the Panther 4, but it comes in some intense losses for them. Some absolutely just brutal urban engagements here. Which you absolutely would not see in companies today, I can assure you that. Another needle wave barrage here. Since there's a lot of Yankees bunched up here, Americans. Tiger available, I probably won't be able to call it in. 30 cal being caught and wiped. Moving up north here. He's being sent forwards. I've cleared up my mine there earlier. Still not dealt with that one. Yeah, the neighborhood was like, you know, it's alright. And again, not something I call in a lot of the time, but I find myself like going for it somewhat consistently in Pachino Stalemate, because again, some players do really like to dig in sometimes. It could probably also be useful on Twin Beaches if an opponent digs in as well there. And there you go, Gunny's punch catching the left scored here. Punch backed up here by the Stu, going for the center here. Stu rushing forwards here, point blank shot. And that the commandos, I think, yeah, utterly expire. 30 kills, again. The Stu G is like pretty decent versus infantry, pretty decent. North here, pioneers right up the knees here, just pull back. Again, sometimes the best thing is just when to fight an engagement and just to get the hell out of there. Bring in the Gunnies to assist around the center. Still going repairs. It's also very close to the east little bar, right? At this point, I could honestly just consider calling another Panther 4 Starstorm. Even like a strong Panzer IV could be like easily something to consider. I've actually gone for the Panther of the CoH3 here. Just for that Panther 4, for example. Almost got the anti-tank on here. And there you go, white. So there we go. Some brutal engagements here. North here, we got engagement about. Note that Nebelwerfer was typically organized into independent Nebelwerfer brigades and then attached wherever they were needed. They were typically not part, like, organically of any German divisions. So there's a fun fact for you. Rushing the Stuke forwards here. Again, point blank blast. It's great.
A capture point is being lost.
And there you go, GG, game over. A loss here for America, freedom, democracy, ground down here in the small town of Pachino. The mighty 50th Panzergun Division. Some really nice tactics, I have to say. I mean, obviously my opponent, I think, handled the early game well. I slightly turned it around with the breakthrough. Again, bought myself some time. This slowed down his sort of initial rush there. But the assault guns, the Panzer Division also did some work there. The Stugs would also help. But that's it. Tactically, my opponent did not, I think, focusing too much on, you know, again, the center here. He considered too much ground elsewhere, but also crucially tried to defend too hard from here, which made it easy for me to play around. Like, for example, that moment there was like, you know, pointing everything towards my armor. Here, I flanked around. He completely messed up, you know. Like, trying to just dig in here, like, really requires your opponents, like, you know, constantly attack you from the same angle. And as soon as you don't do that, it does become a less valuable sort of proposition to defend from here. So I think that was one, shall we say, crucial element there from him. More mines would also be helpful. And of course, I could also benefit it from more mines too. Again, not a huge fan of that one. It's not bad though if you set up like a small fuel point. It definitely provided me with a lot of fuel in the long run. So, you know, it's something to consider, by the way. But there's no good use of the Panthergun DSC. Again, the Stug G. The Nebelwerfer, I think, also, again, because it just like kept focusing around here, proved to be fairly handy as well. So, I hope you enjoyed this match and learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider donating our Patreon Patreon, support the Propagandacaster, and it's worth it by the link in the video description. You can also donate buy the game if you haven't done that by the link in the comments. Use the code STUG3G. And I'll let you know, thank you all for joining in, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.